Democratic presidential candidates are crisscrossing Iowa with an early caucus victory on the line.
I want the Iowa State Fair!
But here's why you should keep an eye on Iowa even after the caucuses are over. Iowa could be a competitive state in the battle for the White House, the House, and the Senate. This is a state that President Barack Obama won twice, but then swung to President Donald Trump in 2016. Political operatives on both sides say Obama and Trump both appealed to a populist streak with Iowa voters that's kind of born out of their agricultural tradition. And Democrats see Iowa as a place where they can test whether or not they can win back rural voters that supported President Trump in 2016.
The question is whether or not we can do a better job as a party and as candidates speaking to rural folks. If you want to win, you have to play on the entire field.
So just 25% of Iowans actually live in rural areas. The concentration of people in cities and in suburbs is what makes this state competitive, particularly at the House level. All 4 House districts in Iowa could be competitive in 2020. Democrats hold 3 of the 4 House seats in Iowa. All 3 of them flipped from Obama to Trump, so they're going to be really competitive in 2020. In the 1st district, freshman Congresswoman Abby Finkenauer flipped the seat in 2018, was previously held by a Republican. State Representative Ashley Hinson seems to be the top candidate on the Republican side there.
Common sense it's an Iowa value, and I think that's what I bring to the table. And that's what I'm hearing as I traverse the district.
In the 2nd district, Congressman Dave Loebsack, who's a Democrat, is retiring. So this could be a really competitive open seat race. Rita Hart, who ran unsuccessfully for lieutenant governor, is the top Democrat so far in that race, and she could face former Republican Illinois Congressman Bobby Schilling, who recently moved to Iowa. But there could be some other Republicans that jump in that race as well. In the 3rd district, Cindy Axne flipped this seat in 2018 as well. She's a Democrat. She could actually have a rematch in 2020. Former Republican Congressman David Young is running again. And the 4th district, the only district held by a Republican, is home to Congressman Steve King. He's made a number of controversial statements.
Went back through all the family trees and just pulled those people out that were products of rape and incest. Would there be any population of the world left if we did that?
He is also facing several primary challengers, but if he wins his primary, he could face a rematch against Democrat J.D. Scholten, who almost beat him in 2018. And let's not forget about the Senate race in Iowa. Republican Senator Joni Ernst is running for re-election in what could be a competitive race in 2020 as well. There are a handful of Democrats in the primary looking to take her on, but national Democrats and some Iowa Democrats are starting to coalesce around real estate executive Teresa Greenfield. She's been touting her rural roots and her connections to Iowa and her personal story in her campaign so far. Both Greenfield and Ernst say they've been hearing a lot about healthcare costs on the campaign trail. Ernst also says a top topic at her town halls is trade. So remember, the president put tariffs on Chinese goods, China responded with tariffs on American goods, notably soybean and pork, 2 of Iowa's top exports. These tariffs have been hurting Iowa farmers.
All this stuff on tariffs and things have got the ag community disturbed.
But Senator Ernst said what she's hearing from farmers is they want her to stick with the president and they want a long-term trade deal with China and are willing to experience some pain right now.
Because China's a bad actor and everybody knows it, and we need to call a spade, and I think that's what everybody is supporting, is ultimately making it a fair deal long-term, which is better for their checkbooks in the long term.
It's unclear what kind of political impact this trade war could have as we get closer to 2020 and farmers continue to be impacted by this. Of course, the race for the White House might overshadow some of these down-ballot campaigns, but these races could determine whether the president gets a combative or a cooperative Congress.